I just played Spec Ops The Line, and I don't know how I'm supposed to feel. Dubai is buried. Not in rubble or ash, but sand. 6 months ago, the richest city in the world was swallowed by storms so big that even satellites gave up on it. And in the center of it all was Colonel John Conrad in the 33rd Battalion. Heroes, or at least that's what we thought. I went into Spec Ops The Line expecting something pretty standard. Maybe a little gritty, but straightforward enough. Find the soldiers, find the survivors, call for backup, and make some decisions. For the first hour, that's exactly what I got. I play as Captain Walker, a tough but fair kind of guy. Adams is my second in command. He's steady and reliable. Lugo is our comms guy, and he never misses a chance to crack a joke.
That's enough, Lugo.
We're just keeping it light, boss.
Yeah, I don't need light. Need you focused on the mission.
What mission? We're basically poking a dead dog with a stick.
We move through the city, cutting through the outskirts, dodging ruined skyscrapers and burned out cars. But things shift when we find the first survivors. They're insurgents, armed and paranoid. There's a fight, which we win of course, but these aren't enemy soldiers. They're civilians who've turned violent in the chaos. And the soldiers they're fighting? Our guys, the 33rd. I was prepared for a game that challenged my reflexes, not one that would challenge my loyalties. But here I was, holding a smoking gun, staring down at the bodies of soldiers who wore the same flag I did. My squad was shaken. Lugo kept saying we should just call it in and get the hell out. Adams looked uneasy, but Colonel Conrad had saved my life once before. I had to repay the favor if I could. This was no longer a search mission. It was a rescue. We keep moving. The city is a wreck. Sandstorms chewing at every structure, but the real damage isn't from nature. It's man-made. Bodies strung up as warnings, burned out buildings, torture scenes. The 33rd hadn't just tried to hold things together, they'd gone tyrannical. Or maybe they'd snapped under pressure. It didn't make sense, and none of us wanted to believe it. Then we meet Gold, a CIA operative fighting against Conrad's men. We watch him get captured. The game gives me a choice. Save Gold, or rescue the civilians that the 33rd held as hostages. In order to save the civilians, I watched the 33rd torture the man that risked his life to save mine mere moments ago. The first person here that didn't want to kill me. I wait as long as I can until I just can't bear it anymore, but it doesn't matter. Gold still dies. The civilians die. The choice was an illusion, the first of many, but I don't know that yet. I just feel a little sick and confused. And then comes the white phosphorus. We watched what it was capable of up close, and soon after, we find a mortar loaded with the stuff, overlooking a heavily fortified 33rd base. Lugo insists that we can't use it. Adams and I override him. It's us or them, right? I pull the trigger. Then I pull it again. And again. I didn't want to. I even tried to find another way. There wasn't one. The screen goes white. Smoke curls from the charred ground as we walk through the aftermath. Soldiers writhe in pain. One cries in the distance, begging for help. I keep walking. Then, the cluster. Civilians, 47 burned bodies, women, children. The 33rd wasn't attacking. They were sheltering refugees. Gold never wanted the base. He wanted the civilians freed. Lugo's shouting. Adams is silent. And me? I'm numb. The worst part wasn't seeing what I'd done. It was realizing I had justified every step to get there. Things unravel fast after that. Lugo won't meet my eyes. Adams follows orders with a hollow obedience. Radios crackle with Conrad's voice, taunting, judging. I can't think straight. Reality fractures, hallucinations flicker in and out. At first they're subtle, a flickering image, a whisper. But soon they're everywhere. Then comes the bridge. 2 men hang suspended. A thief who stole water for his family, a capital offense, Conrad claims over the radio. And the other is the soldier who executed that man's family. I'm ordered to choose who lives and who dies. I shoot the soldier. Mercy. Justice. It hardly feels like it matters anymore. Lugo and Adams stare at me, uncertain if they're seeing a leader or a madman. By the time we find CIA agent Riggs sabotaging the city's water supply, our nerves are frayed, voices harsh and clipped. Riggs says it's to bury the truth, to let Dubai die so the world doesn't retaliate against America. He crashes the water trucks, ensuring the city will thirst itself to death in mere days. I'm beyond anger, beyond grief. I'm sinking into something darker. Exhaustion? Resignation? Madness? Somewhere in my mind, Conrad laughs. This wasn't the story I wanted, but it's the one I chose. Every bullet, every decision, every justification brought me here. I came to Dubai thinking I was a hero, but heroes don't feel like this, right? But still, there's Riggs, lying on the ground, coughing and burned. He begs me to kill him, not to let him burn alive. And I do. One quick pull of the trigger. It feels like mercy, but maybe that's just another excuse. Either way, we have to move. Lugo, Adams, and I are barely holding it together at this point. Our mission now is simple. Get to the radio station, warn the city, and get out alive. We push to the top of the Trans Emirates building, cutting through wave after wave of the 33rd. We find the radio man, a guy who spent the whole game making jokes and mocking us from a safe distance. But when we finally reach him, he's calm, almost friendly. He helps Lugo set up the broadcast we came for. Then...
Thanks. Get the fuck off me, man!
Have you lost your fucking mind?
Are you really this fucking naive? He kept the 33rd on our ass this whole time! He wasn't gonna let us just walk out of here! I did what was necessary!
You don't get to make that call!
I don't intervene. I can't. I'm barely present. I pick up the mic and tell the city we're here to save them. It sounds hollow, even to me. Soon after is when it all collapses. We steal a helicopter to escape, spiraling away as bullets and missiles shred the air around us. But...
Oh, shit! Brace for impact!
We're all separated. Adams calls out on the radio, panicked. Lugo responds saying he has a broken arm and no weapon. We race to find him, fighting through sand-blasted streets filled with the furious and desperate remains of Dubai. This is the part of the game that broke me. I died here. A lot. Sometimes from grenades, sometimes from cover that didn't actually cover anything. The list goes on and on. It felt unfair, broken, frustrating, but in a twisted way, it mirrored Walker's own breakdown perfectly. I wasn't just playing Walker, I was becoming him, losing control, angry, tired, done. And just when we finally reach Lugo, he's hanging from a lamppost, lynched by the very people he wanted so desperately to save. Lugo, the voice of reason, the guy who argued against every unnecessary shot, was gone. Adams screams in anguish. The mob presses closer, angry, afraid, looking at us like we're monsters. I could have fired a warning shot and scared them off, but that option didn't even occur to me then. I was furious, drained from this mission, from the unfairness, from the game itself. I pulled the trigger, and I held it down until everyone ran. Maybe it was revenge or self-defense or just frustration finally boiling over. At this point, it didn't matter. Lugo was dead, and there were no heroes left. At this point, Adams barely speaks to me. When he does, it's raw accusation. We head to the Dubai Seaside Tower, to Colonel Conrad. Not because it's our mission anymore, but because he's the only direction we have left. My hallucinations are relentless now. Conrad whispering in my ear, the city twisting itself around me, but Adams keeps moving forward. Not for me, but for Lugo, for closure, for revenge. Then the 33rd corners us. We're outnumbered. I surrender. Not in a heroic way, just desperate. Adams pushes me clear at the last second, firing wildly, screaming. I hear him go down fighting and it hits me. We weren't fighting to win anymore. We were just fighting to end it. I stumble into the tower alone, barely alive. The soldiers there don't fire. They welcome me.
Where is Conrad?
Where he's always been. Upstairs, waiting for you.
Well done, Walker. You've done what the storm could not. Destroyed the damn 33rd. Do you feel like a hero yet? Please, come in.
I take the elevator to the penthouse. Conrad is waiting. He's calm, charismatic, and exactly how I pictured him, but something's wrong. The room feels off. It's heavy, almost like walking into a tomb. That's because it is one. Conrad is dead, a corpse slumped in a chair holding the gun that killed him. The voice I've been hearing, the man I've chased through hell, wasn't Conrad. It was me. My guilt, my denial, a ghost conjured by my shattered mind. The hallucination steps forward, looking me in the eye. He doesn't shout or threaten. Instead, he quietly shows me everything I've done. Every shot fired, every innocent life ended, every choice that I justified.
Stop right there, Lugo.
He wouldn't listen!
We didn't have a choice!
He turned us into fucking killers!
He hands me a gun. I understand now. It was never Conrad. It was always me. Every step, every bullet, every burned body. These were my choices and my sins. I raise the gun, looking into the reflection with my own face staring back. The game waits for my decision again. Do I shoot the reflection, or lower the gun and finally stop the cycle? I put the gun down. I can't fire another shot. I won't. But the reflection remains, smiling. And then I realize that it's too late. It's always been too late. The damage is done. The trigger's already pulled. I'm left alone, watching as the camera pulls back, showing my broken body slumped right across from Conrad's. The cycle is ended, but not how I expected. Not with salvation or redemption, but quiet resignation. I was never the hero. I was just another soldier lost in the sand. That's how I just finished Spec Ops: The Line, and I still don't know how to feel. Portal gave me freedom, trusting me to survive on my own terms. Titanfall 2 built a bond. It made me feel trusted and powerful through friendship and mechanics, but Spec Ops? Spec Ops handed me a gun, then showed me every reason I never should have pulled the trigger. It didn't want me to feel strong. It didn't even want me to feel good. Instead, it left me sitting alone, staring at a reflection of choices I couldn't take back. And it didn't tell me how to feel about it. It just left me there, confused, shaken, and weirdly grateful. Because maybe that's the point. Games train us to win, to overcome, to conquer, but Spec Ops asked a different question. Not can you pull the trigger, but should you? And when you do, what happens next? This game didn't satisfy me, and maybe that's because the truth rarely does. Instead, it left me haunted, wondering why I made the choices I did, and if I'd make them again. In the end, I don't regret playing it. I won't forget it either. Spec Ops wasn't trying to entertain me, it was trying to make me think, to make me doubt, to remind me that just because we can do something doesn't mean we ever should. It was never about being the hero. It was about realizing that there are some lines you should never cross, and others that you have to. On Mondays I stream a short game, on Fridays I release a video about it like this, part review, part introspective, part overthinking. Subscribe if you want. I love you.